Welcome back to the Vitality Coaching Podcast Show.
Yeah, well, we
Totally,
don't have
totally the official name. Vitality Coaching Podcast Show.
Okay.
Show the podcast, the
Yeah.
movie,
The movie.
the series.
We don't have a name yet, so we're trying to figure
what
that out.
did I
yet.
just tell you about putting your arms on the table or on the mic? It is going to sound so bad.
All right.
You can talk with your arms just right on.
Problem is,
This sounds horrible.
yeah.
This.
Problem is, I talk with my hands a lot.
It's funny.
I'll do my best. Okay.
These little tiny mics here pick up all the noise.
Yeah, literally anything. It picks.
Like we just tested it, and like it just
just
rubbing the table a little bit. It
I
picks
know,
it up.
so it's very sensitive. Whatever. We're just gonna hear. Maybe I should.
It's tipping a little bit back there, but
You think so?
Sure. I mean, they're pointed at us. It's gonna pick it up.
Okay.
Anyway, it's been a rough week.
It has been a rough week. It's actually been a rough. It has been
a rough 10 days or so.
It's been a rough, probably 10 days. And what did it even start with?
Last week we were just 2 weeks ago. We were just really stressed out.
Yeah.
All week. No reason. We were just stressed.
Yep.
Really.
Stress was high, and then I think it was when Aubrey stopped, like her sleeping.
We were stressed first. Then Aubrey stopped sleeping. Then Aubrey got sick. Then Aubrey gave me a concussion.
Yeah. And that is like the order of events. And what we're going through right now is like, I think it's like this 18-month sleep regression with Aubrey. And yeah, she gave, you can tell the story.
She gave me a concussion.
Like straight up a
morning.
concussion.
It's been 3 days. Today I'm like, I feel like back to normal. Thank God.
Yeah.
But it was.
Brain injuries are scary, man.
Crazy.
You know that the movie Concussion with Will Smith, that like it's a real, like I think brain injuries can be scarier than I don't know anything else because you don't know what's going on up there unless you get some type of scan or something like that. But I don't know. But her chin went in his temple.
So Sunday mornings are like Dad and Aubrey time.
Yeah.
And we were just laying on the couch and she was crawling she always crawls over me, looks out the window at people walking by, just jumping up and down.
Yeah.
But so Eileen was coaching, so it was just me and Aubrey at home, and she just propelled her legs while I'm laying on my side and jumped up and all of her body weight landed on my temple on this side and like from her chin. And at first I was like, holy shit, are you okay?
Yeah.
But then I was like, holy shit, I'm not okay.
Well, you go ahead.
Yeah, I laid there for like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and didn't move. I was like,
could you imagine
am I
if
okay?
you passed out?
I know, it would have been scary if I would have actually blacked out, because then she just got
run
run to the house.
So I had what I thought was an irrational fear of like somebody watching Aubrey and them like
passing
out. And I've had this fear since like she's been born. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if the person watching her just like passes out and whatever? And it almost happened. So apparently not super irrational, but
didn't black out, but I just laid there and I was like, head hurt, dizzy, ow, feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, and he was nauseous for a few days.
Yeah,
so it was.
Yeah, the dizziness only lasted about a day. Yeah. Maybe not even a full day, but crazy. Yeah, a little 18-month-old, 25 to 30 pounds. Who knows how much she weighs? Yeah, I vomit into my temple.
So this is the thing, is I feel she has gotten way more aggressive.
Just rambunctious.
Moves
faster.
Yes, moves faster. She's like aware of her body, but not because she like throws herself.
Flails.
Yeah, she flails more. So parenthood is like a wrestling match right now.
But we're back now. Things are less chaotic again.
Yeah,
because we were gonna record again last week, but that was when she didn't take a nap that day.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is she's not napping super well. She's not sleeping super great. So hopefully this is just a small regression, but I swear, and I've heard like parent groups are like, really it's other moms say like it's not a progression, it's or a regression, it's a progression. So looking at the more positive, because she is developing a whole bunch and she's just got all these little things going on in her brain. So
but it's almost been 2 full weeks, so like usually it doesn't. Those things don't last that long.
Yeah, so hopefully.
And she did sleep pretty good last night.
Yeah, she did.
Like she fell asleep right away. She woke up at this morning,
Yeah.
4:30,
Yeah.
and didn't go back to sleep. But I mean, that's still better than.
Yeah, I'd rather
And the rest of the
honestly,
nights.
I'd rather that than it like her wake up throughout. So, but anyways,
Anyway,
yeah. So I think we
Here we
wanted to
are.
preface that because who knows what's going to come out of our mouth. We were just talking. We went on our walk for 75 hard, and we were talking about how this I feel like the first beginning stages of parenthood is just going to be one huge blur. Like it's just going to be a blur of what just happened, So I think we should journal. Maybe this is our journal.
Yeah, exactly. This is our journal.
Yeah, can go back
Go
and
back and listen to we were just spitting nonsense about parenthood.
Yes.
It was so much easier back then, and then she's gonna be like a teenager and be like,
I know. Well, I had somebody say the bigger the problem, or the bigger the child, the bigger the problems. Which yeah.
okay, yeah,
Because
I see that.
yeah,
Don't want to think about it, but
yeah,
I see
we're
that.
not gonna think about it. But speaking of parenthood, I know we wanted to talk about this a little bit. How just like the obesity epidemic that's
Mhm.
going on with
Parents and kids.
like parents with kids, and how they're now, this is so scary,
They're saying that you should use weight loss drugs for as young as 13-year-olds.
yes, well, not only weight loss drugs but also surgery, which
Yeah, like liposuction. And
is that what it is? I don't
I
know.
don't-
I don't know the type of surgery that they're recommending, but I know that they're recommending surgery, which is so scary. And my issue with all of it is,
at
Oh.
13?
yeah, at 13. But are we going through how we can fix this? Because, or all of the routes that we could take, like, hey, go outside, go play and get into sports, go play with your friends, get away from the TV, go do the things,
Eat a little different.
Yeah, eat a little different. And that kind of stems into the parents themselves. It's so important. Even you and I, we're so aware that Aubrey sees what we're eating,
Mhm.
and she essentially eats what we eat. And you guys, when we talk about this, we're not trying to judge
Mhm.
other parents. This is more so us just
Our experience and
our own experience and being experts
How we
in
think
the
about it,
field
yeah.
and all the things, and because this is serious and this is not something that should be taken lightly, and it needs to be discussed, and
Mhm.
we need to open our eyes to listen, there's surgery, drugs, it's not the answer.
Those should not be the first option.
Yes, it should not be the first
So
option.
there's a couple of things that came out in the past week or two. So there's the weight loss drugs that was approved or whatever for as young as 13.
Yeah.
And there's also that, I don't know what her title is, the director of health, saying that obesity is
A disease.
80, no, well, yeah, but it's 80, she says something like it's 80% genetic.
Oh,
But okay, there's some truth behind that, sure, but
it's
not
minimal.
acknowledged that it's environmental.
Yes.
Because they talk about your parents being, so if you have two obese parents,
Yes.
it's 85% chance the child will be obese.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's genetics.
Right.
When in reality it's it's nature versus nurture, and it's completely the environment that they're being raised.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
And this is every respectable fitness health professional is whoa, hold up, why did they just say that?
Well, and that's the thing.
And I think it's because they just approved these weight loss drugs.
Yeah, because
all
you
a
see,
mind
if
bend.
you go on any social media platform of fitness professionals, rightfully so, that are freaking out over it because
Over the
it
drugs,
is
yeah.
yes, because it is not, it should not be the direction that we go in terms, because, and especially because when it comes to behavioral change, I would argue that it would be easier to change the behavior of a child than it is of an adult.
Yep.
Would you agree with that? I would think okay.
Sure, they're more stubborn and developing.
Yes,
but
and I do
they're
acknowledge
not
that.
set in their ways as much as
Right.
a 35-year-old man.
Yes, yes. There is and and this is where it goes to like the people that they look up to, like the parents, like you getting out and going and playing, and you starting to get like exercise and just start making those health changes, because when you lead by example like that, your kids will start to notice, the people around you will start to notice, and they'll want to start to make those changes. And this isn't to say that this is like going to be easy, but it's a better answer, because who knows what the drugs can do. Like what are the other side effects of the drugs, what are the side effects of the surgeries. So it's very alarming as a health professional to see that this is something that is being pushed.
And there's also something that we need to acknowledge, just because it's us. We're so holistic in the first place. We're like basically, no drugs unless it's an emergency situation,
For sure.
because
Yeah.
everything else can pretty much be addressed with
Nutrition,
diet, exercise, lifestyle changes,
Yes.
as opposed to drugs. So, that is our perspective, which we also believe is the correct perspective.
Yep.
Doctors and drugs and surgeries have their place, but in my head, that's all for like emergencies.
Yes, by no
You know?
means are we against westernized medicine.
Yeah.
We understand that
Right.
it is like we're grateful to have access to those things. But are we abusing?
Right. So I mean, even like this past week with a concussion, I didn't take a single painkiller.
Yeah.
Like, and people might say like, "Oh, you're crazy." Like, I've had like these headaches and like this little goose egg on my head for the last 3 days, but
Yeah.
I didn't take a painkiller because like I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Like obviously
Right.
it would help, but like
Sure, it'll
you
take
know,
the pain away.
it'll take the
but,
pain
like,
away, but also like I need to like be in tune with my body. I don't want
Right.
to numb myself to that.
It's true.
But anyway, just needed to like throw that out there.
For sure.
Because I do see for people, which is I feel like more than half of the population,
Mhm.
like they do rely on medications and things.
For sure.
And that's not to say like if you are, I don't know what age, I don't even know like what age to put at this. I don't know if you're over 28
Mhm.
and you want to consider a weight loss drug.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say don't use it. If you have tried in the past using these other alternatives and you want to use this drug to help you, but like all the other, I don't know, personal trainers and nutritionists are freaking out because they think it's gonna put them out of a job.
Yeah.
We're not gonna lose a job. You can use that drug and it's gonna help you, but you still need to like have, strength training, resistance training,
for
whatever you're
sure.
gonna do. You still need to learn how to eat correctly.
Yeah.
Because the drug is gonna help you lose the weight, but like I said on the walk, if you lose the weight but you don't have any muscle definition on you and you're still going to eat like crap, you're either going to gain the weight back because you're not going to take this weight loss drug the rest of your life, because nobody wants to be dependent on drugs if they don't have to be.
Right.
And I think that's across the board.
I think
don't
most
want to
people
be
agree.
dependent on
Yes.
drugs.
Yes.
But two, if you do lose that weight but you don't have any muscle tone or muscle definition or
Mhm.
any shape, you're just going to be
A smaller version.
a smaller version. You're going to be the same thing, just with your skin
Like-
hanging off of your skeleton.
Yes. Yes.
And if it's more of like a, what's the word?
like
like-
a slow progression. You're
No,
saying?
like a vanity thing. Like you just want to lose weight because you want to look better.
Oh, right.
I don't think people are going to be as pleased as they are marketing this drug. Like, yeah, you're going to lose weight, but then you just have like saggy skin, and then you need like, what is it, tummy tuck and all that
Yes.
stuff.
Okay.
And like then you're just getting super surgery, and then at a certain point you still need to develop your muscle.
Yes.
Right.
There's something to be said about putting the work in to get the end result that you're looking for.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's because there's a sense of pride with that too. And not only that, there's a sense of pride with that. There's a perspective where you work through it. You get that strength training in. You go through whatever type of nutritional lifestyle change you're going to go through, and you learn along the way. And then when you get to where you're trying to get to with whatever vision you have for yourself in your head,
Mhm.
you are going to have all of that experience to get there. Whereas with drugs and surgeries, because I've seen it time and time again, where people start gaining weight back,
Mhm.
and they go back and they're like, well, like,
What happened?
so did the drug really work?
Mhm.
I would argue no, the drug did not work. So what I truly believe that the best way
Mhm.
to go about a transformation of the body is to put in the work.
Mhm.
And that work looks like strength training. It looks like hitting a high protein diet. It looks like
Figuring out how to manage your stress,
stress management.
fix your sleep.
Yes, yes. And so this isn't me
All
just
this.
being naive, but like with drugs and surgery, does insurance cover that? Like you have
I'm
to
sure
pay
that'll
for
be. I'm sure that's going to be like a hot topic soon if it isn't
because
already.
right, like pay for a trainer, get a coach.
Well, yeah. Well,
Get-
because then at
you
that
know
point,
what I
like, why
mean?
doesn't insurance cover personal trainers? You know, like
Yes.
that'll be the argument. Be like, oh well, my insurance
Yeah.
covers this surgery and these drugs,
Yeah.
but insurance doesn't cover, like
Right.
holistic routes.
Yes.
is-
which is why
which
not?
which is why the American pharmaceutical system and insurance system is so whack.
it is
Like,
because if they genuinely cared about you, me, your kids, your family, guess what? Their
They would at
insurance,
least-
there would be some type of program.
yeah, even if it's not covered,
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
but it's cool. There are a lot of workplaces that
Yes,
like
there
cover
are.
like your gym membership.
Yes.
So at least get you like
This is true.
$60 stipend for your health and fitness.
Yes, this is true.
They're equipped to you,
Yes, I do know that because I've had a lot
which is
of
awesome.
clients.
It's just not through insurance.
Right.
And also, I know that certain places are allowed to like take or get reimbursed through like HSA saving accounts,
Yeah.
which is part of insurance, but still like we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole nother
So
conversation.
yeah, it is, and I really think like there is something to be said about putting the work in, and
Mhm.
just think of your life. Think of anything that you worked hard for, like
And plus, like, what half of the point of like becoming healthy is because you want to be happier,
yeah.
right?
And
If you just drop the
I
weight-
want to correct myself. I want to correct myself when it comes to when I say like working hard for. I think people can get confused because like I say, oh, just work hard and you'll get to X.
Mhm.
No, it's what I'm saying is it's working hard with a plan that's taking you in the right direction.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want to be
And at
like
some point enjoying the process of
Yeah,
doing it.
yes,
Like,
and
you have to fall in love with the process because you will respect the results 100-fold.
yeah, and I think like the process of getting healthy and working towards longevity and health and just feeling good in general, it it can be an enjoyable process.
Mhm.
And honestly, the road to get there is so misconstrued, and people have so many wrong ideas of the plan to get there. When you guys across the board, science or studies have shown these things that strength training, hitting a high protein diet across the board, these are the things to do. Strength training, a good program, progressive overload, you're following a program that
Mhm.
works. The protein, getting just daily movement in
And then recovering.
and recovering, like those are the things. Like if you follow that plan, if you follow the path,
Mhm.
it doesn't look like you doing endless hours of cardio and you
Mhm.
not eating food. And that comes to the point for right now in my programming. I'm trying to add muscle mass to my body. Excuse me. Okay. Right now in my programming, I'm trying to build muscle mass onto my body. And so I'm tracking. And so I'm putting myself in a caloric surplus. And what I'm finding is, even for me right now, at eating
In a surplus.
in
yeah.
a surplus, well over 2,000 calories, and I'm not to say that that's for you, but for me, well over 2,000 calories, I am still losing body fat.
Mhm.
Okay. And that I'm not special. There's nothing
Yeah.
unique about me. There is nothing unique about me. It's me just following a plan and following a program that's actually working, and having the data and just having a really clear cut plan. So it's just so important that, listen, if you're actually serious, that it's the answer and it's out there. It's just
Mhm.
does that make sense?
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
on
I mean, it's simple, but it's not. I mean,
It's simple,
like-
but it's not,
like,
'cause you
what
have
you're
to put the
doing is
work in.
simple, but like, and then the hard part is the consistency.
Yeah.
It's doing it week after week.
It's
for
the
years at a
mental
time.
toughness. It's
Yeah,
the
it's the
mental
discipline.
toughness. Yeah, and I don't want to come off as like I'm oversimplifying the process. Like, just do this and you'll get there. Like, I understand there's like a whole psychological thing behind it. It's
If you-
life gets in the way. Like,
You strength train or resistance train or whatever you want to call it 3 times a week. You get your movement in every day,
Mhm.
like a 30-minute hour walk.
yeah,
You start prioritizing protein. You do it for 3 weeks, and you're like, I don't see enough results. Well, 3 weeks isn't gonna cut it.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to do it over time and over the
Right.
course of a year. Like,
Yeah.
it's just part of you.
Well,
And
that's
you
the
just see those
thing.
changes.
Is,
But there's also the caveat, like for the challenge we're doing right now, the 8-week
yes.
challenge.
Yes.
We're 2.5 weeks in.
Hmm.
A lot of people have some like sweet
Oh,
sweet
for
progress
sure.
already.
Yeah, they
You know?
have amazing progress because they're following a program that is
A program and
customized to
nutrition,
them.
yeah.
So it's just like if you follow a program that is customized to you, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, you follow a program and then you're honest with your coach. Don't be lying like I didn't drink it all the past 3 weeks. Okay,
You're
like
yeah, clearly you have.
if you were a regular person that had a drink like every night after work,
yeah,
you're like you're saying you didn't have a single drink and you're not seeing progress.
right.
Okay, like somewhere you're lying. Either you are drinking or you're like compensating with like crappy junk food that you're not like telling us about.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
because if you, like you said, if you follow the program and you're consistent, you're gonna get results.
Yeah, and I think people like lie to their coaches because they don't want a relationship thing.
Mhm.
So there's not a good relationship trust there, thinking that we're gonna judge.
Mhm.
And I think people look at, and I'm so disconnected from this because I've been training for so long. But sometimes I think people look at us like on a pedestal,
Yeah.
and like are like, oh, they're perfect. Not. Please don't say that. I'm not saying that I'm perfect or people look at me as perfect because I know I'm 100% not. But what I'm saying is I do think people look at a personal trainer and label them as, oh, it must be easy for them. It's their job.
Or we're judgy.
Or we're judgy or
Like
anything
literally, it's our
like
job
that.
to
Yeah.
not be judgy.
So God forbid I tell them that I'm not being this because I'll think of my client as less of a human. No, listen, you guys, we're all human beings. There's nothing different from me and you. We can all make these things work. It's just kind of trusting the process. And going back to the drug thing, I think people turn to like drugs, surgeries, that kind of stuff because they see it as a definite, like this is guaranteed to get me results. I get that. I can sympathize with that when you have tried and tried and tried all the things. And you're still not losing the weight. And you're like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm so desperate to get here. Like, let's do it. Or you're so desperate for your kids to lose weight. Like, I get that. Like, if you're like, it's like your last straw and you're like, you know what? I just want my baby to be healthy. Like, from the bottom of my heart, I get that. It's just becoming aware that there is another way and like having that sense of hope that, listen, there is a program that works and it's what we are talking about. It's literally as simple as just like the movement thing, the strength training thing. And yes, kids can strength train as they should be strength training. As soon as Aubrey can put weights in her hands and I feel good about it, she'll be doing it.
Doing renegade rows,
Yeah, like,
deadlifting.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's an entire
Those little pink ones right there.
Yeah,
3 pound weights.
little 3-pound weights. Yeah, but and that kind of goes to say too. This is going off topic. Our kids' body mechanics, like their deadlifts, their squats, they're beautiful. I'm so jealous when I see Aubrey squatting, and I'm just like, get out of here, girls! It's amazing. And like when she goes to pick things up, like that is why we strength train, right? I mean, sure, for aesthetics and all those things, but we strength train to be functional and to feel good. And so why would we stop? Why would we not get it started? You know what I mean? And why wouldn't we reinforce that proper movement? So again, that was off topic a little bit, but
it's easy.
But
It's easy, but it's not.
yeah,
It's not easy. That's not the right word.
yeah, because you
It's
want to.
straightforward.
It's
guess.
straightforward. I like that
But
better.
It's hard, and more than anything, you need somebody to keep you accountable.
I think that's
Calling
the
you
thing.
out on your shit is important.
Yeah,
And as long as you have that honest relationship with a coach,
Yeah.
you'll be okay.
I think it's important.
And I mean, also you need a coach that knows what they're talking about in terms of like everything.
Yes.
And I do think it's good to have a coach that knows, that give you the whole picture. You know, like they know everything about nutrition.
Expectations.
No, I just mean like nutrition, exercise, stress management, sleep. Like the
Mhm.
whole picture of like making you
A
a healthy
holistic
person. Yeah.
style coach.
Yeah.
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 It's vital, I think, too. And it's possible.
Mhm.
So But because I've been a nutrition coach for quite a while now. I think almost like 6 to 8 years. Just so crazy.
But when you got your precision cert?
Yeah. So since nutrition coaching, I have had a lot of parents reach out and ask me, like, how can I help, like, my kid, like, eat better and have healthier habits? And it really starts with you. It starts with it starts with the parent.
You wanna make your kids healthy?
You
The
start
most
to be
effective
healthy.
way is you be healthy yourself.
Yes, the most effective way is leading by that example that you are wanting. What are you wanting them to do? Are you wanting them to start exercising, playing outside, doing those things? You go start doing those things. Invite them, and even if they're a little older and they're like fighting you and stuff. We don't have a teenager yet, and they're like fighting you, thinking you're silly or whatever. They will notice what you're doing, and they, believe me, they will start to make that change. They'll start to see that, and they'll start to see that you're in a better mood, because it's likely that if you aren't taking care of yourself, you're not showing up as the best version of yourself, and your kids notice that too. So when you start exercising and showing up for yourself, and you'll be in a better mood, feel healthier, they are going to notice that, and they will start to make that change. So, and it's, again, not that it's easy, but that would be step one, is you starting to make that change for yourself and letting them kind of start to change with you, because it'll happen.
Yeah, it might not be right away.
It might not be right away.
Definitely probably not as quick as you want.
Yeah.
I was on a call with my coach.
Yeah.
I guess you can call my coach yesterday. He was talking about when he and his family started making like healthier changes in their family life.
Yeah.
And just drinking protein shakes to like fill the gaps and get the protein up. He's talking about his teenage daughter who was like 15, 16, drinking them, but not liking them.
Yeah.
And so apparently, and it was a funny story, like she wasn't making them correctly.
Yeah.
Like she'd fill up an entire blender bottle with water.
Yeah.
So that's like, what is it, like 24 ounces or something? And then put a single scoop of protein in
so
there.
It's gonna be all
and
watery.
it's like super watered down.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, 8 ounces. And then he like shows up a blender bottle cup. Like it's 8 ounces is like a third of the way or maybe a quarter of the way. And you shake it up and there's all that air in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, so it's like thick and actually tasty.
For sure.
And he's just like, some people just don't even make that connection. And you got to watch your kids, because sometimes they are trying to mimic you.
Yes.
But they think that they have to be miserable.
Yeah.
Because they're just doing things incorrectly. Because they're teenagers, they're stubborn, and they don't ask.
And they don't ask, and they are trying. And I think that's like the biggest. It's such a big thing, right? Where you as a parent, you're like, oh, they're not watching me. And then sometimes, like, I'll even be looking at my phone or something stupid, and I'll like notice like Aubrey's looking up at me, and she's like just watching me, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw my phone across the room. I swear we need to implement some rules around the phone thing. But they're soaking in everything, and at every single age, like I even, you never lose that. You still look at your parents, and they're always on that pedestal, don't you think?
Yeah,
I don't think it ever really goes away. So I think always having that, which is a beautiful thing, because it's a purpose. Your purpose is to show up for yourself so that you can show up for them, and that's exactly right? It's like, I show up, I read in the morning, we go do our workouts, we do the things, and even like how we treat each other. Oh my gosh, it's huge. Like the way we talk to each other, the way we treat each other. It's funny because, we've had a funny relationship sometimes, right? We're best friends, best friends. And there's been phases in our relationship where we don't like, how you kind of joke around, but you're kind of mean to each other. And we're like, we should probably be a little careful about that.
in front of the children.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But also maybe not, because they see like that we are best friends,
as long as they, yes, of course. But
we're not like actually being mean to each other.
Yes.
Like, even with your best friends, you're not married to, you start to be really mean. But like at the end, you're just like,
yes, but we have gotten to that point where we should probably not curse as much around Aubrey, because she says, "Oh shit," now.
Sorry.
She
But I'm
totally
also
does.
not mad about it. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's funny too,
Whatever.
but when she gets frustrated or something like that and she's trying to like lift something, which is also cute, I'm about to go off. She picks up something heavy, she's like, ugh, and then she goes like, oh shit. She's like, and it's just like, did she say oh shit trying to pick up something heavy? And I'm like, all right. I mean, sometimes you gotta curse when you're, you know what I mean? But it's just funny. It's so to answer that question, because it is such a popular question, it does start with you and taking ownership of that. And you know what? If you've been screwing up this whole time, well, first off, you're not, you know, we all have our thing, but you can turn it around right now. Like you can drink more water. You can go for a walk. You can, you know, I saw this family, it was around that first week of January, and they were a family that it was clear that they were trying to work on their health, and they were all out for a run. And I loved that. Like, I loved that they were all out running, but it was like the mom and the dad and the daughter, and she like, she didn't look like she was having very much fun. But the daughter, yeah, she's like,
trailing behind.
Yeah, she's like, this is terrible. But it was so cool to just like see that family just like in action working. But yeah, it was
something else that is in the back of my mind when we're talking about, you know, how it's simple, whatever.
Yeah.
Or not simple, sorry. Straightforward. That's the word we used.
Yes.
How it's straightforward. When we're talking about like nutrition stuff.
Yeah.
Like prioritizing protein, actually looking at your caloric intake.
Yeah.
There's so many advertisements that try to like lead you astray. They're like, just make it a habit. You don't need to count calories.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yes, that's a step, but saying that calorie counting and macro counting and prioritizing protein doesn't work. No, that's literally that is the answer. And I know that there's an old video that we recorded where we were saying the opposite. Because that was before we even knew, you know?
Yes. And that's a good example of being open-minded, like as a coach in general. You guys, I actually tell my clients.
But why do we know this? Because we went from coaching that habit-based way to the caloric and protein macro tracking way.
And guess what worked and guess what didn't work?
Yeah, the habit tracking, building let's just eat healthier habits, you know, is... There's
a time and place for it. There is a time and place for it.
But if you're looking to actually get like data-driven results, there is no other way than
you have to
tracking.
Yes.
Tracking.
Yep.
Guesstimating.
That's what where I was going was, I even tell my clients, I'm very straightforward. I used to be against it. I don't even know why. I used to be against drinking protein powder. And I remember these moments, and it's so important as a coach to be open-minded and grow and develop and be okay with changing your mind. And I'll learn things tomorrow, a year from now, where I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll change my mind on that. And that's okay. And I take ownership of that, but I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, with the tracking thing, the way that I think I looked at it before is it was restrictive. I saw it as a pain in the butt and that it was restrictive. And what it has done for me, I kid you not, I have a better relationship with food now than I ever have before. And that is because I have been tracking, because I'm realizing how much food I actually need and how much I was genuinely under eating, because I was genuinely under eating. And guess what? I am seeing a change in my body like I've never seen before. I've always been so frustrated. Why am I not getting like that physique that I'm looking for and working so hard in the gym for? Oh, I haven't been eating and fueling my body the way that I should be. It is, when I say that it is the most mind-blowing experience I've had in terms of like my health and fitness career, it really is. And I, even being like a runner, I used to be like, why am I just so fatigued and tired and not feeling good? Because I was not eating the way a half marathoner or runner should be eating. I was sure some days I would eat enough like calories, but then the next day
it was
would
those
be
days
around...
that you were eating like, all right, let's get pizza, you know?
Yeah.
And you eat like 7 slices,
yeah.
right?
Guilty.
And you're like, why can I do that? Like, oh, because I ran 13 miles today.
Yes.
And that like added up to end up being 2,000 calories for a single meal, and it like made me not tired.
So what counting has done for me now is it literally taught me how to fuel my body.
Mhm.
And it's empowered me in my nutrition, and it's all about the mindset set rather than thinking of, oh, this is a restrictive diet program. No, this is a program where you are learning how to fuel yourself to live and feel good and have energy, have healthy hormones, build your muscle. It is, I would say it is the route. Like, and there that when it comes to the healthy habit thing and portion sizing, I do think that there's a time and place for it. Like, I won't track forever. I'm gonna so let's say, so we're in 75 hard right now.
Yeah, we're both very,
We are dialing
the
in.
most strict we can be.
Yes, we are dialing in with our nutrition. When 75 hard is over, I will likely go through a week of like not tracking, maybe, but even I don't even know. Maybe it'll be more like just checking on protein, making sure I'm hitting protein. If calories are a little wonky, who knows?
Yeah.
But what this is going to do for me and what I'm learning is how to eat for my body, even without tracking. So let's say I'm tracking for all these 75 days that I'm doing right now. And then when I'm done, I'm like, I feel empowered, like, to know what to eat. And then let's say the next time I have like a physique goal or whatever the case is, you hop back on tracking. But honestly, I don't know if I'll really stop. Like, sure, I'll take a breaks and stuff like that, but to stop like forever, I don't know if I want to, because
and people think tracking. I know that people think tracking is restrictive because you get like, you get your calorie goal, your protein goal, your carb goal, your fat goal, your fiber goal, your water goal, all those goals, but it doesn't have to be restrictive. Like, like we have like hard goals right now, but like in general, you can have that range, so like you can eat the things that you still want to, right? Like, as long as, at the end of the day, we're not at like, 600 grams of carbs, and like 20 grams of protein. Like, okay, that's not good.
Yes.
Right. But you can still like, get pizza, it's going to be carb heavy, but there's still, mozzarella cheese, whatever meat is on your pizza. If you get a meat pizza, like that's still going to be a significant amount of protein. You track it, and you're 50 grams closer to your goal.
Was it mozzarella that's like the highest protein cheese?
I think mozzarella is third or fourth. If we're talking about protein cheeses.
So, and it's so interesting because the gym that I worked at, I feel like it was like a phase in the fitness industry where it was like heavy restrictive calorie counting. Then it was like this habit thing that we went through. And I think a lot of people are on like the same page that we're on. And it's like,
I don't actually.
You don't.
I think a lot of people are still stuck on the habit thing because it's all about feel good body positivity and like and easy work instead of hard work.
Yes, but
calorie
again,
counting is hard work.
Yes,
to learn.
And I don't want people to get confused because like habits are part of it. Like they go together. They go habits and like the tracking. Like they go together. We have to develop strong habits day to day. Like we're saying like habits around like eating and portion sizing and stuff like that. So it's just it is controversial, and I would be happy to talk to anybody about it. So.
Yeah, and that's not even to say that like the habit building isn't it's still a good step in the right direction.
For sure. That's something not to get confused either.
Like we're not saying like don't do it, it's not good.
Yeah.
Because that's what the other side of saying that habit tracking is the only way. Is saying that macro tracking doesn't work is not good.
Yeah.
It's not that it doesn't work. It's a fantastic step in the right direction. But if you're really looking for like hard goals,
yes,
then you go to tracking after the habit is made.
Yes, and that's
because if you look at it, okay, calorie tracking is a habit.
Yeah.
Sure,
it is. Exactly, it is. And when it comes to deciding on any type of diet lifestyle change that you're going to make, essentially what it boils down to is whatever you will be able to sustain long term.
If you can't do it for 12 months, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yes. So people would argue, well, I can't see myself tracking for 12 months. I would argue that a little bit and say, okay, let's maybe try to work through that and see. And if that's still something that you're like, yeah, this isn't something I can do, then we take maybe different routes. But I would say by the end of like working and really working on it and finding like a system that works for you with your tracking, it would end up being fine. But
I don't know why it came up again, but in my Instagram Reels feed, there's a whole bunch of hate on 75 hard again. about
Don't
how
get me started.
it's not sustainable. I was like, really? You can't do something for 10 weeks and say that's
Yeah.
not sustainable? It's 10 weeks.
Yeah,
It's 2.5 months.
right.
Like, don't tell me it's not sustainable.
Yeah,
Like, and also at the end of that 10 weeks, what are you learning? Like, you're learning about yourself. You're learning
Oh my
about
gosh.
your eating habits, your exercise habits. Don't tell me it's not sustainable.
Yeah, well,
Holy shit.
so here's the thing: people that have never done 75 hard, you don't get it. It's
Mhm.
kind of like having a kid. It's like judging parenting without having a kid. You know what I mean? It's like, are we good? My hair.
I don't know if it's a hair or a
I
spider
think it's
web.
not a spider web. It's like you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like judging parenting without having a kid. You do not understand what 75 hard does for you as a human being.
Yeah.
So let's set nutrition aside, because guess what? You can pick the nutrition.
Follow a diet. You need to use the word diet when you're talking about 75 hard, because what other word are you going to use that people won't understand?
Yes.
Diet. Okay.
Yes.
Guess what my diet is? My diet is 2,700 calories, hitting 250 grams of protein every day.
Yeah.
Is that a diet? Still eating clean.
Yes.
Hitting
Yeah, you do
250
have to
grams,
eat
eating 2,700 calories.
Yes.
You know, most people wouldn't call that a diet.
Right.
That's just my personal goals for what I want my body to look like.
And I'm going to speak for myself in terms of what 75 hard has done for me.
Also, I'm cutting as a 6'1",
Yes.
220-pound guy. I am cutting. That is not
I was
what
going to say
somebody my
2700
size should be eating. I am like hard cutting. That is, I'm in like a 900 calorie deficit right now.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyways, go ahead.
What 75 hard has done for me personally is the confidence side of it,
Mhm.
right? It's me making a commitment to myself and seeing that commitment through. Do you know what that does for you as a human being? How many times have you told yourself you're going to do something and you don't follow through with that? Do you know that diminishes your confidence level drastically?
Mhm.
So when you make a commitment to yourself and you actually hold yourself to that and see it through, you're a new person. And when you continue to do that, though, right? And that's what 75 hard is. It is you making a commitment for 75 days to yourself, and every single day checking those boxes, even when it's hard, even when you have a daughter that sleep deprives you, and you still go do your workouts anyways, right? And some fitness professionals will say, oh, well, that's not good for your health if you're pushing through being tired, blah, blah, blah. That's not the point.
Yeah,
The point
being consistent.
The point is building that.
Regardless of all your circumstances.
It is a mental toughness program with the side of getting those workouts in, getting, good, like your water in.
And notice the word program.
Yes.
It's not a freaking challenge.
Yes.
It is challenging. But I mean, like 75 hard is a year-long change how you look at your life and get tasks done thing.
Yes.
You get your workouts done, you get your adequate protein or your adequate nutrition in. You read, you build great habits for yourself.
Yes.
Like it changes you.
Yes.
Anyway.
And we're on day 22 or 23 or something like that.
We're on day 25.
Are we really?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Possibly.
That makes me feel awesome. So we're on day 25.
And we've both failed many times.
I have failed probably 6 or 7 times. Last year when we did it on New Year's, we've never finished the program yet. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, but we'll talk about it once we do finish it. We'll go through how it went. Mm-hmm. I did it last New Year, and at day 65, I forgot to take my progress picture. So that goes to show you just like so close, but it is a program where consistency is a part of it. A lot of people try to make it easier, which is the problem with society. Yeah. And so I'm excited to push through and work through this one because I feel good with where I'm at right now. I feel great, honestly, with where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, it's outlined like where the hard days are, the humps.
Yeah, and I'm telling you,
we just got over the first hard hump.
Yeah, it's like that first 20 days or whatever. Yeah, like I mean, the first couple days you're all motivated and excited, right? But like within that first 20 days, you're like, it's a little draggy because you're like, oh, we're still in the ones. But now you're in like the 20s and you're like, all right, we're gaining some momentum here. Feeling good with workouts and stuff like that. So yeah, 75 hard. I love it. I love the program. It's phenomenal. I'll forever be grateful for Andy Frisella for letting this just be a program that
right
he's
in
put this out there for free. So many people absolutely shit on it all the time, and it's again, what's wrong with our world. So
yeah, it didn't mean to like really blow up on 75 hard, but I mean, honestly, it is
it's been life changing.
The first time we attempted it and failed,
yeah,
and then failed and failed and failed. Like every time you fail, you learn something new. You're like,
yes. Well,
and then even like the first time we did it, and like looking back, when was the first time we tried it? 2020.
Yeah.
And failed.
Yeah.
And failed because like when you start to restart and fail, like it gets bumpy. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But like thinking about that time versus this time, it's like, oh, every other time before this, were we doing it right?
Right.
Like, was your headspace
right? Yes, was
right?
the intention there?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what, because this won't be. We might even go into live hard. I'm not sure yet, but and that's a whole nother topic of discussion. But it's just so interesting. Like as you develop into this program, it's like every time you do it, you do learn something about yourself, and you do become more intentional, and you do become this version of yourself that is incredibly elevated, and it is amazing. And this kind of is all going full circle to where the work that you put in is worth it. It is freaking worth it. And we didn't even finish 75 hard yet, and we were saying like the work is worth it, not just with this program, but with anything that you're going to do. So if you are sitting on your couch and you're watching this today, and you're like, and it's your final straw, and you're like, listen, I've tried everything under the sun. I'm going to challenge you to question that, to see like, have you really done the things? Because if you have tried everything, you would be where you want to be. So that all said, not to like pitch our program, but we do have a free Facebook group that you can come to for support. So you can go to our Facebook group, we'll link it for you, and that is completely free. Devin and I also do strength and conditioning program, nutrition programming. We do macro splits for people. So if this is something that you are wanting to do, you can reach out to us. We would be happy to help you. But with that, thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to be doing just this again.
Yeah, because it freaking works, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, talking about health and fitness.
Yeah.
From experience, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's the best place to talk from. Yeah. It's from experience.
Yes, because we are. Yeah, exactly.
Lead from the front, you know.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell somebody to do something we haven't.
Yes.
Which is my only hang up with walking people through keto. It's like.
Yeah.
I know it's miserable for the first 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But there are. But I don't want to coach people through it if I've not done it.
Yes, exactly. And that is why we do specialize in the macro side of things, the strength training program side of things. We won't like push anything that we don't personally do. We don't believe in that.
Or have a coach in our inner circle that can tell us.
Exactly, because we do have a lot of connections with coaches. And so if you do come to us and you're like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, we will direct you to somebody else if necessary, and that's okay. So
all right, that is the show.
Yeah,
Vitality Coaching Show podcast.
Yeah, we don't have a name for a podcast.
We'll figure it out. We'll name it eventually.
If you guys have ideas, put it in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, because this will be on YouTube, but also on all the podcast platforms.
Yeah.
Once I figure out or remember how to put it on Spotify, iTunes, whatever you listen on. Because, previously it was all there, but then, we had a kid and I don't remember some stuff.
Yeah, I am.
My brain's a little mush. I'll figure it out, though. Don't worry.
The sleep regression will be done soon. Then we'll get pregnant again, and then it'll be all starting again.
But that time, we won't stop.
Yeah. We'll stop what?
Recording.
Oh.
Well, that's why we stop.
I thought you were talking about stopping having kids.
Oh. No, we won't stop recording weekly videos and podcasts.
Yes. Yeah. We get the flow. Yeah.
Anyways, catch you next week.
Yeah.